Hi, friends. Welcome to my next gift guide. This is gift guide number 9 of 12. I've been doing these all the last couple of months, and to get you through the holiday season and beyond, I'm doing a different topic for each of these, our top 10s, and this time we're looking at my top 10 quick games. What's a quick game? Glad you asked, Ruel. A quick game is a game that saying that it's going to take about 30 minutes to set up and teach and play. So these are ones that are going to really be easy to get to the table, and especially as the holiday season approaches and we're in the midst of it, it's hectic and it gets tough to play games. So these are going to be things that you can be able to get to your table even easier than other things. And the first one is Second Chance from Uwe Rosenberg, and this is a roll and write game that I really adore. It's really straightforward, and this is our friend Kimberly Tolson from Tabletop Tolson. She's also on the Rahdo channel. She's teaching it there on her channel. You're basically just flipping cards, and every card is going to have like a Tetris-style symbol on it, right? As you see there, Kimberly's popping over, and oh, she has like the nice-looking version. I have like the next version, which is just more just straightforward symbols. But they're Tetris-style pieces, and you're going to draw it on your sheet, and you're basically trying to fill up your sheet. That's it. Just like Tetris. And as you do that, you're going to eventually get to the point where you cannot put in a piece. It won't fit. And what you do then is get a second chance, and you're going to draw again. If you can draw that, fine. You'll just continue. But it's going to get to a point eventually where you cannot put anything, and that's where you end the game. I think it goes until everyone, it's been a while since I played, but I think it goes till everyone's, gotten that second chance. And then you score, and as long as you have the fewest amount of open spots, you're going to win the game. I love that this one is super simple, straightforward. There's so many tile lanes, so many Tetris-style games these days, which is great, because I love the mechanism. Michelle and I do love the mechanism, but now with Second Chance, it's so easy to teach, and it's Tetris, and you're just laying down the pieces, and as you can see there, Kimberly, you're just filling in the boxes. It's super easy to teach, and if you're during the holidays, if you're at a holiday party with family or friends who are not gamers, this one is an excellent one to jump into. That is why it's my number 10 quick game on the list, Second Chance. Okay, moving right along, number 9 is Red 7, and this is a Carl Chuddick game. If you know the name, it is the same person who did Glory to Rome, and if you know that game, it's all about multi-use cards. And here I am playing Red 7 with my friends Amanda Panda and Book of Nerds, aka John Gonzalez. This has numbers up to 7, 1 through 7, and colors, red, blue, green, yellow, etc. And what you're doing is trying to be the last person standing. So you're playing one card, you have a hand of cards, and you're going to play a card, and you can either play it for the color or the number, and there's different conditions, like once you play a card, it says the next card on top has to be either the same color, or it should be a sequence of numbers or the same number or whatever. It's so clever, and yet it's so quick and easy to teach. Yet another one that I use a lot. Now, actually, I just started volunteering again at Michelle's school where she teaches. I'd done this years ago where I would come in and have a game group with the students. This is a favorite of theirs. I could always teach it in a few minutes, and the look on their eyes, and I get this a lot when I teach this game, it's like, there's that moment, it's like, oh, it seems simple. Oh, just play cards. Here's a number 1, here's a number 2, here's a red, here's a blue, whatever. But then as you start looking at those like little abilities or conditions, like, oh, the light goes off, it's like, oh, it's a little tougher than I thought. And if you cannot play a card, you're just out. So there's been games where literally a couple players will play ahead of me. I get to my turn, I can't play anything. Oh well, bummer. But the thing is, it's okay because the game plays so quickly, you can just join the next one. You can play several rounds, and then they have additional cards as well that give you extra actions. Love it so much. It's a great game. It's a great quick game. Number 9, Red 7. And yes, I did think about putting this at number 7 just because of the Red 7, but I forgot to, folks. But it's ranked number 9 on my list. And let's go on to a number 8. This is a wonderful push your luck game, Deep Sea Adventure. This is an Oink game, and if you know Oink games, they come in that little box there you can see on screen right underneath Michelle. Little boxes, but big experiences, and I love this push your luck game. One of my favorite push your luck games, actually, where it's semi-cooperative, so you roll the die, and you're moving down to get treasures. The deeper you go in the ocean, you're going to get the more valuable treasures, but as you go down, once someone decides to take a treasure and go back up, the oxygen's going to start running out. So you need to hurry up and get back to the ship with your treasure or treasures before the oxygen runs out. And it's funny because there's times when certain players will go to the top. Maybe I've done this before. We'll go to the top and just try to go back up to suck all the oxygen out. And if you run out of oxygen when you're, not on the ship, you just lose all your treasure. They go all the way to the bottom of the ocean floor. Fun game. I think it plays 2 to 6 players, and I played it at many counts. It's always a hit. Yet another one, super simple to learn. But once you, just like Red 7, there's this light that goes off about, after the first few turns, people's like, oh. After, it's funny because a lot of times most of the first round is always everyone just drowns. They go too far and they start thinking, oh, I don't always have to try to pick up every treasure, because the more treasures you pick up, the more oxygen you're going to be sucking up as, you're trying to go up. So I think there's like 25 spots of oxygen, and that goes really quickly once you try to start making it back up. But a wonderful game, 20 minutes or so. It's my number 8 quick game, Deep Sea Adventure. Moving right along, we've got number 7, Kites, and this is a brand new game. The new for this year from Floodgate Games. I learned it at Gen Con. I did the Gen Con prototype last year, a year ago, but then the actual game got produced and was released this year. It's a fun real-time game. So with real-time games, of course, they're going to go quickly. This one plays in about 15-20 minutes, and what you're doing, you're flying kites with your friends. It's a cooperative game, and each of the sand timers represents a kite, and you need to keep it up in the air by playing your cards. Now, if you have like a yellow one or a blue one, like Michelle's doing in the screen here, you play that card, and you're going to flip those over, and you'll notice that some of the timers are going to go quickly, a little more quickly. So you don't want to play cards too quickly, because you'll have to flip them over. It's like, oh, no more times left. And as you saw there, we just ran out of time on one of the timers. That means your kite has fallen. The game is over. You're trying to get through the entire deck of cards. It's a fun cooperative game. Yet another one that's so quick to pick up and learn, and offers a really fun experience where almost anyone can play. It's I'm not gonna lie, it is stressful trying to keep all those kites on flying. But boy, it's a lot of fun, and that's why it's my number 7 quick game, Kites. All right, let's move on to number 6. Now, number 6, this one really surprised me. I just played this for the first time at PAX Unplugged last week. So if you're watching this later on YouTube in the future, welcome back to the past. It is December 2022, and I just played Fantasy Realms. Thanks to members of my Discord channel and friends on the internet and Twitter. IT Omar Hernandez taught the game to me and Julia from the Discord channel. These are our friends from BGG, and also Monique and Naveen from Before You Play. They're playing Fantasy Realms. It's a game that I've always been interested in, and I didn't realize how good it was until I played it at PAX U. It is so simple. You just have a deck of hand of cards. You're trying to score the most points, but what you're doing every turn, it's excruciating. You're trying to decide what to keep and what to give up, because every card plays differently. Every card has a different scoring condition. And then as a group, when 10 cards have been placed in the middle, the game is over, you start scoring. Every card combos with other cards differently. And there's a little push your luck, like, oh, I'm going to give this one up, but I'm going to try to collect this one so I can set up, all of these here. And the game plays in about 20 minutes, if even that long. I love it. Another shout out to Omar. He actually showed us the app. There's a scoring app as well, because I'm not going to lie, at the end of it, it can be sort of mathy, but the app makes it super easy. You just plug in the cards that you played, and then the app does all the magical addition and math for you. You can see Monique, Nikki, Lincoln, and Naveen having a great time. I had a great time as well with this. Now, I was curious about this because the game Red Rising from Stonemaier is based on this. Jamie Stegmaier loved Fantasy Realms so much, and he also loved the Red Rising series of books. And he had struggled for years trying to find a way to bring it to a board game form. And then he basically, said, hey, Fantasy Realms is the way to go. So he made Fantasy Realms a little deeper. It had a board, a little more going on. I like that. But honestly, Fantasy Realms is the one that's going to hit the table more often because it's just so streamlined and so smooth and such a great design that I can see this being played a lot more, at least at my table in the very near future. Fantasy Realms, love it so much, highly recommend. That's my number 6 on my quick games list. Let's continue on this quick game kick. The next one is Sprawlopolis, and I am playing a solo game here on my stream. Thanks to my Discord community, James and Legends do this every couple of weeks. They do a solo challenge, and this was one of them. Sprawlopolis. Now, this is a cooperative game, plays 1 to 4. I think this is a brilliant game. It's from Button Shy Games. They are a company known for their 18 card games. That's it. They literally fit in your wallet. I mean, that's some of the smallest games you'll get there. But Sprawlopolis, awesome game. Each turn you're placing one part of your city here, and they all have 4 different types of terrain. Residential, business, parks, and so forth. And then there's also a road, and I think, yeah, in every piece there's a road, so you're trying to connect roads. But here's the brilliant part, folks. What they do is on every one of those 18 cards, you flip them over, there are different scoring conditions. So every game is going to be different. You shuffle up the deck of cards, you randomly draw 3, flip those over, and there's your scoring conditions for the game. And then on top of that, you have your overall objectives as well. They're like universal. So you're going to score for each of the largest terrains that are connected. So like you're going to score for all the blues or all the, residential or the business, industrial, etc. You will always score those. And then you will score the additional conditions. And they are all different. I love them. In our solo challenge on Discord, James and Legends had picked 3 for our entire group to go, and then we tried to see who could score the highest. Spoiler alert, I did not. But I love this game. I played it on all player counts. It's always fun. I just played it at PAX U. I was just talking about my friend Omar and Julia. We played this, had a great time. I love it. I think it's a tile layer that fits in the back of your pocket, and I think it is just absolutely brilliant. Danny Devine is one of the designers of the game, and I love his design so much. Again, it really falls in my wheelhouse of these are games that are easy to pick up and learn, yet offers a lot more strategic depth than you think. And this is probably my favorite Button Shy game. They have a really great lineup of wallet-sized games. This may be my favorite, and I do love it because I can solo it. I actually soloed this. I have soloed this in the past whenever I travel somewhere, like on a plane. It can fit on the little tray in front of you. So highly recommend. It's a quick game, and number 5 for good reason, Sprawlopolis. Okay, number 4 coming right now is Unmatched Battle Legends Volume 1. Now, I did Battle Legends Volume 1 because that was the first one that was released, but honestly, all the Unmatched are goods. If you're watching the video right now, this is me and my buddy Daryl B. Gaming. We are playing with the dinosaurs, the raptors, versus Deadpool. And the Deadpool character is fantastic. They did it so perfect. The Deadpool character is a lot of meta, a lot of comedy, and it really does feel like, Deadpool. I hear Ryan Reynolds' voice in my head when we play with Deadpool. But this is a tactical game, a skirmish game, but it's so quick. Daryl and I, when we were doing our board game get-togethers, our game nights, public game nights a few years ago, before the pandemic hit, this one would always be one of the first that hits the table. It can play up to 4 players. For this one, it's a 2-player matchup. And I think it's just perfect as one of those games that takes 20 to 30 minutes. It's pretty easy to teach. Now, there is something, you do have to remember there's certain things like I tend to draw cards after each turn. It's ingrained in my head. But in this, you don't draw cards. You're going to play cards. But then if you take a movement, you're going to draw a card then. So you have to balance moving with drawing cards, and then you're going to eventually fight. There's no turtling in this game. This game's all about getting in each other's faces and trying to get the other person down to 0 health or life or whatever. There's so many different characters in the original one. You have 4 characters. Then they have expansions that have 1 or 2. I'm still trying to get the Bruce Lee expansion. That one is, I believe, long out of print, unfortunately. So I need to track down a copy. But in this case, it was fun because the Raptors, every character has their own unique abilities and conditions and whatnot. It's so much fun. I highly recommend it. Now, If you're not the type to really be into combat, like 1v1, this may not be for you. But it's such a clever system. It's so easy. I mean, you start with cards. You play one for either combat or play one to set yourself up for movement or whatnot. And there's other abilities. There's so many different things. Every character is different, and they bring something new to the game. I know I have the Cobble and Fog one, which is like the Invisible Man, Sherlock Holmes, Victorian era. Volume 2 of the Battle Legends, the Monkey King is there. We have like Sinbad, and one of my favorite, actually, now I think about it, my favorite might be Little Red Riding Hood. You think that expansion, they're all standalones. They all have different boards, or most of them have different boards. You had Little Red Riding Hood versus Beowulf, right? Big old scary monster versus Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood might be my favorite character of them all. She's got some really cool abilities. So, some of them, they give you, chances to go through your cards a little faster so you can get more cards. Others give you like super big combat. And then you have your sidekicks as well. So you have your main character. Some of them come with sidekicks, right? So, other characters may have, like, for instance, Medusa. You have this, Medusa has, her snakes, her head of snakes. And I believe she has, like, little sidekicks that, can deal damage as well. They're super easy to get off the board. Just kill them. It's like 1 hit point. So you're trying to get the main character off. But a lot of these characters have sidekicks, which, throw a monkey wrench into your plans of trying to win. But it's a wonderful game. Highly recommend. 20-30 minutes or tops, and the miniatures they're all nice too. The miniatures, they're like pre-washed, so they don't just look like standard miniatures. They've actually been washed, so it gives a little depth to them as well. Cannot recommend it highly enough. That's my number 4, Unmatched. The Unmatched series, folks. You can't go wrong with any of them in my book. Number 3, we got the top 3 now. Top 3 quick games for sale. One of the first games, an early game that I played when I got into the hobby, probably one of the first, and this is an older stream when Michelle, Lauren, and I were doing this during the pandemic lockdown. This is Team Dead camera. If y'all remember, I had my camera on my duct tape to a hand truck that was on top of a chair to get that overhead view. But for sale, one of the best auction games ever. And what you're doing here is everyone starts with the same amount of money. And you're going to bid on properties. In this case, we have properties. You can see there's an island property. There's actually a space station. And then, there's funny ones too, like an outhouse, a doghouse, then a home, mobile home, etc. What you do is you're going to bid one at a time, and you increase the bid till someone drops out. That person drops out, they will get the lowest card out there. So it's number 1 through 30. Then the next player that drops out there will get the next lowest card, or the highest card. And then the final person who wins the bid will take the highest card. They pay full amount. If you had dropped out earlier, you'll pay half. So you pay full if you're the winner, but if you're not the winner, you still pay half. Or if you just drop out immediately, which you can do, you just get it. So you go until all the property cards are gone, 1 through 30, and then the next round, this is the best part of the game. All the bidding you've done, now you're going to use those properties to gain money. And there's another deck of cards with money on them, printed 0 to 15,000. And you lay out a couple of, 3 of the cards, as many as there are players. So in this case, a 3-player game. You would lay out 3 money cards. And in the video, I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing here. So we've collected all our properties. Now we got money cards. And then secretly, you're going to choose one of your properties, play it, and then you reveal simultaneously. And the player with the highest property will get that money card. So if there's a $15,000 card, that's the highest. You know that space station is probably going to come out and lock it up. So it's a lot of fun. Yet another game, really easy to teach. Another one that I've used in Board Game Club as I volunteered at Michelle's high school. So the kids love it. It's really interactive, but it's got cute art, and it's such a pure auction game. I honestly doesn't get much better than For Sale. Okay, we're going to our top 2, folks. This is some good stuff. We had some really great quick games. The number 2 quick game for me, personally, is Draftosaurus. I mean, come on. Look, there's nothing better than a fistful of dinosaur meatballs. Am I right? Am I right? Come on now. In Draftosaurus, you are drafting dinosaurs for your park. You randomly get some out of a bag. You have them in your fist, and you're going to decide which one you're going to keep for your park. And as you keep them, you're going to place them in your park. each part of the park scores differently. So some of the places of the park you want different dinosaurs. Some you want the same dinosaurs. Some want pairs of dinosaurs, like the lovebirds, right? So pairs of dinosaurs. Others just want one unique one. You could place them in either the left or right. It depends on what the die roll is, right? There's a little element here where like, okay, this has to go in this section. You can't just place them wherever you want. There's a die roll that limits your choice. So I love it. I think it's one of the best drafting games out there. You know, a lot of people do the Sushi Go as far as their introductory draft game. I think that's a great choice, but Draftosaurus 10 times as cute as Sushi. I love Sushi. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Sushi fan, but when you can have little dino meeples, it doesn't get much better. It's such a great drafting game. Yet another one that plays quickly. About 20 minutes, you play 3 rounds. The draft goes by so quickly, and it's so good. Draftosaurus, folks. Check it out if you haven't already. Highly recommend. And there's one more game on my list, friends, and I love all these games, but this one has probably been played the most in my household because it's quick and everyone just loves this game so much. My number one quick game is Point Salad. Point Salad is a card drafting game, and as you can see here, you have a tableau of veggies and scoring cards. But the brilliant choice in this game, the brilliant game design, every single one of those scoring conditions is on the back of those veggies. So as you're bringing these down, you have 2 rows of veggies. You have a 3rd row at top there of points. As you take a veggie, you have to refill it with one of those cards and they flip over. So if you see a point condition that you want, you better get it right then and there, or else it's going to flip over eventually before you get your next turn. And this is absolutely brilliant. It's wonderful. Yet another game. I mean, all these games, folks, easy to teach, play so quickly. And, you know, this one has a lot of... It's funny, we call it hate drafting or denial drafting, right? There's a lot of that in this game, but it never feels bad because everyone gets stuck in this game. I just love that tension of, okay, I'm going to get a couple of veggies here. I'll take a carrot and, say, an onion. But by taking those, I'm giving up a certain scoring condition, right? And those will flip over. And then there are no scoring conditions in the game. You have to grab some of those scoring cards. And depending on what's available on your turn, you know, oh, I need this scoring condition for future turns, but I also need these veggies right now to score some other scoring condition. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? They give you one little out. And this is such a cool little mechanism. On any turn that you want, you have the option to turn over one scoring condition into a veggie. So every scoring condition has a little icon on the corner. It says, hey, if you decide to use this as a veggie, it's going to be this, like a carrot or a cabbage or whatever. So if you find yourself getting stuck and like, oh, this scoring condition, I couldn't get all the things, but I could use the flip side of it for another one, you have that option once per turn. Like, okay, but once you turn over it, it's locked in. You cannot go back and forth. It's locked in. Great game. It plays 2 to 6 players. Played it at all player counts. Love it so much. Families loved it. Gamers love it as a quickie between other longer games. I almost always carry it on me. Love it so much. That's why it's my number one quick game, Point Salad. All right, friends. Thank you for joining me today for this list. I've got a couple more lists to get you through the holidays, but you can check these out here on YouTube. There's a link below to links to all my lists. And, you know, don't use this just for holidays. Use it for any gift-giving occasion. And let me know your favorite top quick games here in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you later. Bye.